voices rise through the veil, beyond disguise, psychic tales and spectral skies. The Spirit Lounge, where mystery lies.
And welcome to the Spirit Lounge.
Welcome to the Spirit Lounge.
Yes.
This is Bella, and I'm Donna.
Yes.
And today we are talking about a guy that's an absolute gem.
Yes. I wish he was around more often now.
Yeah. And I don't mean gem like diamond. I mean gem like coal.
Yes. Yes. Yes, he should be buried back into the earth.
That's right. Yeah,
Or set on fire.
So if you've never heard of him, his name is Keith Raniere.
Yeah, Keith Raniere.
Raniere?
Raniere is how he says his name. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the only reason I know that is because I watched a documentary.
Well, he's Raniere now.
Raniere.
We're not even
whatever.
giving him his proper
Keith.
name.
Whatever. Yes, he's the founder of NXIVM, which is supposed to be a self-help group. But he also is the founder of DOS,
Yes.
which is the problematic group. To tell you the truth, the whole thing was problematic because it was built on, I know you've done some of the research on there and I'll let you think, but when you start really deep diving, he pretty much picked and chose from different elements of spiritual stuff to put this NXIVM thing together. Like it was Scientology. He took some stuff from Scientology. He took stuff from Jehovah's Witness. He took stuff from all of these different like religious things and made his whole thing here.
So he basically built a sexual slavery pyramid.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Pyramids. And they paid for it.
And they paid for it. People paid for this.
Yes. Yes.
So he is now 65 years old.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
he is still in prison.
Yeah. He'll be there for
He'll
the
never
rest
get
of
out.
it.
He
Yeah.
got sentenced actually to 120 years.
Yes. Well, yeah. Because, I mean, he did some serious stuff. Like, there's people that are still dealing with the trauma of this.
Oh, they probably will for the rest of their life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, I feel bad for... if you've never watched the documentary, I would suggest you do because it's very enlightening. Enlightened for some of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. But he was probably one of the more conniving ones that I've seen that set up this type of cult the way he did it.
And he looks so innocent, like nerdy.
Yeah, that's how he comes off.
Yeah.
But and the thing is,
Comes off, gets off.
yes, he. Oh no! Obviously, he started the way he put this whole thing together. Really, he had this other business that was like some type of like online shopping business. That kind of went haywire. It started off, it was kind of off of the, you know what those groups are that that you bring in somebody and then you kind of go up.
That's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, he started his own MLM company, multi-level company, and it was like a grocery thing. And it was supposed to be like another company that's out there too that I can't remember the name
Amway.
of it. Amway, yes, exactly the same thing. And it was okay at the beginning, but then it started to go kind of haywire where it wasn't delivering the stuff that it needed to. And so people weren't getting paid. So he went to court and they then, he got fined for that and he got arrested. So now he's still trying to look for a way to make money, right? Of course, easy way. And he started this other like little thing where it was called executive something or other. And it was supposed to be helping people that were in a business environment to get along and this and that. And he was trying to market it. The only problem is whenever he would go somewhere, they would look up his past and they'd see was like, this guy's a little shifty. So enter Nancy Salzman into his life. So, so if you want to go ahead and give us the nitty gritty about,
I don't know
whatever you know about him.
I don't know a lot about her, but
Okay.
on him, so NXIVM is not spelled the way you think
No,
it's spelled.
it's a weird ass way.
It's actually, it's written in Roman numerals, and it's NXIVM. FIVM, which is 14,000 in Roman numerals. Whether I don't know why he came up with that or where that ties in.
He has such okay. What the only thing that I really know about it is when he started off this thing, he started putting this whole thing together where he wanted it to be more like called Vanguard because of a game.
Yep.
Right? It was because of a game. He liked playing this certain game, so that's where he got that from. The whole sash thing that he did, which we'll talk more about the sashes, but that was because of karate or something like that. So
Yep.
instead of giving people like medallions, whatever it was sashes, which is the stupidest thing ever, because they had to have a way of validating these people.
Yeah.
And then the whole Nexium thing also came from some type of video game. That's what it was. This guy said he was the smartest man in the world, but this was all based on like stupid video game stuff.
Well, you don't get sentenced to 120 years for being the smartest man on earth, right?
He
Just
surrounded
saying.
himself with smart people. That's
Right?
what.
That's why he's in jail. They're not.
Yes, yes.
So he is described as like a high-end cult leader.
Oh, he's the highest. Yeah.
Yep. So there was a lot of mental health professionals and cult experts that called him a cult leader who manipulates and exerts cohesive control over his followers. And multiple women have come forward, like 25 women, if not more, have come forward saying, this is what he did to me.
Yes.
You know, that's, again, 120 years. You get what's coming to you, buddy. So he had executive success programs.
That's it.
That's what they were called.
Yes.
So in 1998, he met Nancy Saltzman, and she
Yes.
was a nurse
Yes.
practitioner,
Yes.
I guess it was,
Yes.
of hypnotism and neurolinguistic programming. So if you are someone that has that little bit of a warped mind and you meet somebody that has the ability to do it a little more,
Yes.
and he targeted a lot of people that were vulnerable at the time, that were in
Everybody.
transition,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of were not strong enough to say, you know what, I don't like
No.
this. I'm not
I
crazy
mean, he
about
found
this.
a niche.
He did. Yep.
Yeah.
Sadly, he did.
And exploited it.
So she stepped up to the plate big time
Mm-hmm.
on it. And it was like, how can I help you? And that kind of started the two of them together where they designed this program.
Yes.
So the executive success program was, I'm just going to read what I have here because there is a bit to it.
Yeah.
It's a personal development company offering a range of techniques aimed at self-improvement. So they were saying, look, you can be your best self and we can help you do it.
Yeah.
For this amount of money, I'll make you a better person.
Yes.
Sometimes a kick in the behind can make you a better person. A few years later, the program was rebranded under the name Nexium. He adopted, so Raniere adopted the title Vanguard from his favorite arcade game, in which the destruction of one's enemies increased one's own power. So he figured by having all of these people under him,
Yeah.
gave him more power.
Yes.
And he wasn't necessarily wrong.
No, he like
He became powerful.
Yeah, he became powerful. Yeah, 100%.
Between the two of them, in 2002, him and Saltzman succeeded in recruiting members of the influential Bronfman family.
Rothman, yeah.
Heirs to the multi-billion Seagram fortune. Oh, all right then.
Yeah. That's where he got his power, to be honest.
Well, yeah, it has to.
It was because of them.
Yeah.
They gave him, Nancy, she gets, I watched a few different documentaries on them. And to be honest with you, I think Nancy really didn't know what she was doing. She became the front man for him because he had to hide behind someone because his name was Dirt.
Yeah.
And he needed someone who had credentials, and she did. She was a nurse. She also knew she was a hypnotist,
Yeah.
so she could do a lot of the stuff. And who had the knowledge because he didn't, although he claimed he did. He claimed to be the smartest man in the world was pretty much what he said.
And you were saying
So-
that he took from different aspects of different religions and stuff like that. So his influences were L. Ron Hubbard,
Of course.
of course.
Of
right?
course.
Milton Erickson's hypnosis. Tony Robbins.
Well,
Right?
that says it all.
And he did he had the whole judo thing for the colored cloths for rank and bowing.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. He was actually featured in Cloaks, Cloaked in Shadows, sorry about that, on the cover of Forbes magazine.
Yeah, which I believe they then found out that he actually, the Brofman sisters actually
Outed him?
paid for it.
Oh.
A lot of that stuff, all of that like good stuff that was coming out for them, it was all coming out of their pay. Like they paid for a lot of stuff. So he surrounded himself with women who had money and who allowed him to use the money as if it was his own. Because they did everything he said. I believe they probably were both in love. A lot of the women, for some reason, I don't know if this guy was really a charmer, because it's like they kind of were in love with him and would do anything for him.
He was either charming or packing, one of the two.
One of the two. Because I guess when you put yourself as you're the top, you know everything and you've got all this and you've got all the answers and you've come off as like this, because they really, he was a guru, right? That's what he came off. He had all of the answers. So yeah, so these girls, I'm assuming, were very sheltered and were not happy in their life, and so they've got this guy that's coming in and is giving them his all love bombing and giving them all that stuff. So of course they're gonna they formed a dependency on him. So this is the price. This is the price.
He was called the world's strangest executive coach.
He was.
Yeah. So and that's what the cover of Forbes said.
Yeah.
So it was devastating, and they called him the cult of personality. Like there was all kinds of stuff that kind of knocked him down a peg or two, I think.
Oh, I know. I think he was. Well, see, this thing is the Brofman sisters. Their father was still alive, right? So their father stepped in with some of that stuff. So he had, let's just say, anybody that pissed off Keith Raniere, you were now going down, like he was going to use all of their money to try to get them. The only thing is he had a limited access to certain things because the Brofmans, the father was still alive. So they weren't able to get free reign with a lot of stuff, but he had to keep in his good graces. But believe me, he was not happy and he blamed him for a lot of stuff. Like the people on the back end that kind of after finally saw what was going on would leave and they were like, oh my God, like this guy is just like crazy. Like he had a vendetta for anybody, and God help you if he did. It was horrible. So he deserves all 100 and something years.
I absolutely believe he got what he deserved. So he did commodities trading from January 2005 until late 2007. He did it, but he wasn't good at it because he lost nearly $70 million.
He wasn't good at anything.
No, he really wasn't. Like,
to be honest with you, if this man would have turned what he had into doing good, he probably would still be around and be amazing at it, because he was amazing at picking the people that he needed to surround himself with in order to succeed. Because he was. If it wasn't for Doss, he probably would still be running his cult today.
Which is kind of terrifying.
It is terrifying.
So he tried to align himself with the Dalai Lama.
Yes, because they paid him $1 million. $2 million.
$2 million.
Yes.
And they did this because they wanted to give themselves a better image.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the Dalai Lama is pure and kind and all of that.
Yeah.
And they were trying to lose the image that this magazine had given them of being these horrible people.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like hanging out with Mother Teresa because, well, not now, but.
No, but back then, yeah.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah, they paid for a private, the Brofman sisters paid for a private jet to take him to go visit the Dalai Lama and convince them and he's such an idiot. If you see the footage, oh my God, he's sitting there and he's wearing his white sash because white is supposed to be like the student. That's when you're the beginner. And so the Dalai Lama says something to him like about him being a teacher. And he's like, no, I wear the white sash because I'm an eternal student. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Tell me what you really wanted to say, because I can see the look on your face.
I had to stop and start laughing.
So, yeah, the Dalai Lama actually traveled to Albany to give a talk, and during the event, he presented him with a white scarf on stage. Raniere did.
Yes.
And then the Dalai Lama additionally wrote the foreword to the book, The Sphinx and I can't even say this. There's like 19 letters in this.
It's just making up crap.
Thalexpia or whatever it's called. Yeah. And Raniere co-authored that. So I may have to look into that book.
Oh my! He said he made so many claims. He claimed that he was like the world's best pianist or whatever it was. He also said that he was the smartest man in the world, and he also said that he invented a new way of doing math. I don't know how other way you can do math, but apparently there was a new way of doing
Is
math.
what they're using in schools now, because it's not the
Maybe.
same as when I went to school.
He invented it, and it was NASA was starting to look into it. That's just what he said. So unless NASA was looking at building a sex cult in space.
So he really was bat crap crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah. And then, well, he had, the reason we have so much documentary footage is because one of the people that he coerced into him to be part of his cult was actually a documentary filmmaker, and he had him film him at every chance he has. So there's a plethora of different, and if you watch it, like you can see he contradicts himself a lot, and it's just I'm like, this guy makes no sense. But these people were following him like he was Jesus.
Wow. Yeah. So in 2009, a group of Raniere's associates called the NXIVM 9, which included his former partner, Barbara Bushi, broke with the organization. Oh, that's bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Citing concerns about unethical practices and the alleged abuse of his leadership status to sexually manipulate women in the organization. I find that so hard to believe.
Well, Barbara Boucher was actually the one who organized it all for him, because he had all other than this. She was the one who told us about the super sashes. So other than the sashes and the Vanguard and all that other stuff, she's the one who actually was an executive. She actually had a $1 million business. She's the one who sold and did the curriculum and everything for him, because he had nothing. She was also his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So that's the whole reason why she did it. She did it because she loved him, blah, blah, blah. So they were building this business together. And Nancy had the knowledge, but didn't really have the curriculum. So she's the one who put the whole thing together and did and taught the classes and brought people in. She was the top seller at the time. And then when their relationship went south because she found out that he was having sex with multiple women and wasn't faithful to her.
Oh, some people are so touchy about that, aren't they?
And then she was just like, screw that. And she left and wanted her piece of the money. Well, now he's got Brofman money. And she spent all of her money trying to stay in courts because they kept holding up. And which is, I find that so, oh my, you're suing the person. And then in order to get them to drain their money, you just
dragging it out.
You just kept, and it dragged on for years. She's like, it took her, I can't remember how many years to pay it off. And in the end, I think it cost her millions of dollars. And he didn't care. He had the money from the Brofman people.
So he could afford to take her to the
as
ground.
As long as he wanted to.
So in November 2010, Vanity Fair published an article called The Heiress and the Cult.
Okay.
Yeah. In which Natalie, who was another former partner of Raniere, recalled that he had insisted that she keep the body of her dead puppy in her garage freezer and look at it daily.
What the hell?
Right?
I've never. What would be the purpose of that?
I guess control.
I guess
right?
so. Oh my God, that's torture.
In my head, there's a whole bunch of red flags and alarms and stuff going.
It's like they're slapping you in the face
right?
at this point.
But again, I'm sure at some point this woman was in maybe a transition point in her life. She may have been down. She may have suffered depression, and he's giving her everything that, I just need you to do this because this will
Yeah.
give you strength, or whatever crazy idea he put in her head that this was a good thing to do.
I'm honestly, I think that's the end result, because a lot of the things were, when I started looking at it, it always started the same way. They get you in with a cheap class. So the first class is like $25. Come in, figure out how, how to say no or cure whatever you have, right? Ailment you have. It's always like some spiritual angle to it. So you go in, you pay the $50, you're like, okay, this is not bad. You have this to talk, it's an hour or whatever. And then they sell you the next class, right? So now you're in. So you're like, well, I've already sat here, so let's go see what the next class is. And then all of a sudden they come up with the big package. Now, if you really want to be able to go to the next level, now it's like, $4,000. And people are like, oh, well, that's a little much. Yeah, but think about what this 2 classes did, which actually are legit things that work for you, right? So they're like, okay, well, I'll make do. I'll sign on for the 4,000. At that point, when they got you in for 4,000, they've got you. You're not going to be walking away from a $4,000 that you just spent.
Yeah, an investment.
Right? So investment. Even if you start seeing red flags, you're like, yeah, but you know what? I spent $4,000. I don't like to waste money, so I'm going to stay in it. And this is what ends up happening. You end up staring at a dog in a freezer.
Right, yeah. So it says NXIVM coaches, they kind of got together and went and gave the Times Union in 2010, they gave an article and said that they characterized students as prey.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
For Raniere to satisfy either his gambling or sexual habits.
Oh, yeah. And Raniere would... Because he never really taught the classes. Like, for him to come in and teach a class, you had to be like high up. Like, you had to spend a lot of money. So in order to get him to get into one of his classes, it was like you started off at like with this coach, and then you move on to the next, and blah 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 blah. And then if you got into a class with Raniere, then you've spent thousands at this point, right? So, and he would come out as being like I was the know-it-all, and blah, blah, blah. And at that point, when you get to Raniere, he knows you'll do anything you want. And the majority of the classes, although it did have men in it, but I honestly think that he hated women.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Because of the stuff that he did to women. He did. I mentioned somewhere that his mother used to abuse him, and with his perspective, I mean, this is all alleged. He's the one who said it, that his mother wasn't very nice to him. It was very. They used to do all this stuff, but then again, there's been reports that he had sexual stuff with young girls. So he was a pedophile as well. So
he was a class act.
He was a class. So when you start, and this is the thing, he did it under secret. So only some people knew. So nobody really knew how, who was having a relationship with who. And then when you did found it, he would turn it around and say that it was your issue.
I wonder,
that this was your problem.
Was him and Jeffrey Epstein friends?
That's not a connection. We should look into that.
Yeah, because they just released a whole bunch of
well, if we start to
files.
see Keith Raniere there, well, no, either that or he took a page out of Keith Raniere's book, or Keith Raniere took one out of Epstein's, whoever's. Because it was and the fact that this guy went this long without getting caught is just, it says a lot by who. And the other thing that's really weird, which I don't know if you found, but I found it through. A lot of the women that were close to him, after a while, died of cancer. Some type of weird cancer. And they were all like, at one point, they were all like kind of his girlfriend. So there was like, at one point, there was like 3 or 4 of them, which is really odd.
To have that many, yeah.
To have that many in his orb that he was sleeping with, and they were all okay with them, and they all passed from some type of cancer. And they were sick. And all of a sudden, after a few years or whatever, they got sick, and then a new one comes in. So you're like, what's going on in there? Like, what are they doing in there? I know that he would, he had his particular type. He liked them very thin. to the point where the girls, it was okay if I believe he was a pedophile and he wanted women to be
Like children. Yep.
Because of the way that he would even tell them. It's like, oh, it's okay if you don't get your period. Like he would make women count how many calories that they had, and you need a certain amount of calories in order for your body to continue
To
functioning
work, yeah.
And a lot of the women were like, I stopped having my period after following this diet.
Oh, because he was starving them.
Yes, and they were doing it willingly though. And he would tell them, it's okay. That's normal. That's normal if you don't have your period. No, it's not. You're in your 20s. You should be having your period.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be complaining about those cramps.
Oh, no, they wouldn't. Oh, and he promised everybody a baby. All those women were supposedly going to have a child with him. And he never did. He had actually the one woman that did have his child, she took off.
I was just looking at something about that.
Yeah. And she like completely secluded herself. She didn't want nothing to do with him.
Her name was Christian Keefe.
Yes.
She was a longtime partner of him and the mother of his first child. Mm-hmm. In 2010, it was reported that Raniere had ordered that child be kept away from any peers, and that he was being cared for by nannies speaking 5 different languages. In February of 2014, she broke up with him and left NXIVM. After she fled the Albany area with her son, an email bearing her name explained, I have full sole legal custody of Galen. Keith was experimenting on him, and I had to get him away.
Yeah. She, like, the interview that they gave, they had to promise that they weren't going to show with the child.
Yep.
They mentioned him a couple of times just because it is, but Keith never saw the baby. He's never saw his son, and she refuses to have anything to do with, like, she's secluded and secreted it away because of whatever was going on with. She never really explained it. Really? So unless she went into court and she was the one who said her story, but they've never really come out, and probably because she's protecting her son.
Oh, 100%.
Right? Which I would 100% agree with that. So there's limited information.
Well, just the fact she said she even used the word experimenting on him.
I mean, well, just think about the stuff that he was doing with the
women,
regular women. Yeah. It just, like 100%. He's a freak.
He's looking at freak in the rear view.
The thing is that he coerced these people, these women, because most of them were all women, and men, because some of them got married, and the men were in there, and he would have. It was the way that he was able to separate the men and the women, so that the women, he was able to control what the women thought, and also was able to control the men. Like the men, he made it sound like the way he taught them that they were going to be saviors and that they were the protectors of the women. He actually made the subgroup that the men were in, and they were the protectors of the women. And they were in there, and this is what they were supposed to be doing. They were supposed to be protecting the women and looking out for them. And then they were taught all these different things, all these different behaviors. It was like really weird. And then the women had their own cult thing that he pretty much did whatever. It was just a weird thing. It's like they all kissed each other every time they saw each other. It's like a weird, it's like kissing and hugging all the time. Like he kissed everybody. I was like, dude, get away from me.
Yeah. So we were talking about that DOS group.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is the end.
It literally was for him.
Yeah, it was.
So it was a secret subgroup within NXIVM, and it was called DOS, and that's an acronym for Dominus Ubiquus Sororium, which meant slaves.
Yes.
Headed by masters. And slaves were expected to recruit slaves of their own, becoming masters themselves.
Yeah. Well, the lead one, the one he convinced to run this group, was someone called Allison Mack. She's an actress from the show, the Superman show.
Yes.
Ally Mack.
Ally Mack, yeah.
She was in love with him. She was in love with him. You could tell. She's just like all over. I don't know what he told her or what he did with her, that she just became like literally she was his slave. because they started seeing changes in her. And of course, the other thing that really follows, it pretty much follows everything. They sleep deprive these people. When you're sleep deprived, you're not thinking straight.
Yeah.
Right? And you've got this euphoria because you're like, "Oh, that's okay. I this is what it's for." So they sleep deprive you. You're not eating because he put you on this strict diet. That already, you're already compromised. And then if you're already, I mean, she was an actress. She already had some self-confidence issues and she's had other stuff. So she was primed.
It was her mother that kind of stepped in on that, right? I believe it was her mom.
No, she went the whole way.
Oh.
They didn't know. It was very secret. She's the one who started originally recruiting all these people.
Okay.
And then recruited, what's her name? Something Oxenberry's daughter.
Okay, that's the one I'm
yeah.
thinking of. The mom was...
India Oxenberry. So her mother was the one who stepped in, which I can't remember what her... She's from Dynasty. Whatever.
Yes.
But he really wanted those two people in it because... The reason he went after celebrities is one, because they have money, and two, because they have influence, right? So Allison brought in all of these people from Hollywood that also were around her age, that also had self-confidence and stuff like that. So, and Catherine Oxenberry, who actually has connections to the royal family. Like her mother is actually King Charles's cousin, first cousin.
Oh.
Yeah. So, so she's like, so he was like, yes, we need to get the Catherine in here. Apparently Catherine has always been very much into like spiritual stuff, looking after. So she decided, when India, her daughter, came to her and told her about this group, not the DOS group, but the NXIVM, they're like, okay, so let's go do it. She did it. And then that whole thing where it's like, she paid for the classes and she said she kind of wanted to stop after the first one, or the daughter did, but she's like, I really don't like wasting money. So they decided to stay. Catherine left, but India stayed because India had just broken up with her boyfriend, was kind of like,
vulnerable.
I don't know where
Yeah.
I fit in this world. I kind of like, they're speaking my language because they pick you.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So she stayed a little longer. So I think Catherine lent her the $1,800 or whatever to do the next course, and then she just like got wrapped up. Love bombed. Ali Mack really started bringing in a lot of people, and then started doing this subgroup. And she picked the different people that come in the subgroup.
150 women joined DOS.
Yeah.
He was the only man, and he was at the top
Yeah.
of the heap, and he called himself the Grand Master.
Which they didn't know about.
Grand Masturbator, maybe.
Yes. Well, they would go meet at one person's house. The girls would all strip naked and they would blindfold them. And then they'd get into the car and they would drive them to another place. And sometimes it would be Allison Mack's house. And he's watching because they have cameras set up. So he's able to watch and know everything that's going on. And they would have this initiation party where they would get branded. And the branding, they were told it was supposed to be like the elements, like the earth, wind, fire. And meanwhile, it was his initials, Keith something Raniere.
And it was different. It was sideways or
sideways,
something.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess somebody was mentioning how it was supposed to be like they were thinking of doing a tattoo, which would have been easier to remove. But he decided no, branding was much more permanent and wanted it branded in a certain part, which was next to their crotch all the time. And it was done by one of the members there who was a doctor in someone's living room under no anesthetic, nothing, just with a cottering pen. And
Imagine how painful that would be.
yeah,
Like,
like
oh my
India
God.
described how she just laid back and kind of like went into some other
You would
thing.
have to. You would have to just let your mind go somewhere else.
But I'm just like, why would you not say no? What was it that and that's what I'm kind of thinking. I'm like, there's got to be some type of fear in this.
What was the consequence of saying no?
Yeah, what is the consequence of saying no? What is the worst thing that's going to happen if you're like, hell no, I'm not getting branded? Like, there's no reason.
Were they drugged, maybe?
Well, when you're sleep deprived and you're not eating, Like he's got them primed because
Yeah.
all of these women were less than 100 pounds. Like India, the reason her mother was very concerned, she was tipped
Skin and
off
bones,
by
yeah.
by some of the people that were there, but she also wasn't getting her period at this point. She hadn't gotten it in 6 months, so her mother took her to the gynecologist and have her looked at because she's like, you have the uterus of an 80-year-old was what she was told because she wasn't eating, and she was having to text Allison Mack, who was her master, and taking a picture of what she was eating and saying, this is how many calories this is. Can I eat this, master? And she would say yes or no. If she said no, take out more, she'd have to take out more and take another picture. And every master had to have slaves under them, and the slaves had to sue something. Like Allison Mack told India that she had to have sex with Keith Raniere. And she did. Keith Raniere was like, I'm your grandmaster, so you have to pull over and take a picture of your crotch right now. She's like, but I'm in traffic. I don't care. You have to pull over and do it. Because now you're slave master relationship. I'm like, what is it that made these women continue going and doing this for so long and not seeing this is not right?
What's the name when someone keeps you hostage for so long and they can let you go and you still come back? There's a name for that.
I don't know.
I'll think of it. Probably about 3:00 in the morning. You'll get a phone call from me.
I got the name. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, it's there is a name for it. That once you're under someone's influence for so long, and this happens to people that have been abducted.
Yes.
Their captor can
Yeah.
let them go.
And they'll still come back.
And they'll still
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah.
So that may have been a bit of the case here.
It is. I do.
Because I don't know the time frame on how long these people were slaves.
It's roughly probably, well, it all depends on how vulnerable they were, but I think they were in for probably as far as being slaves, she was in there probably for about 6 months or so. But before this, a lot of the work in order for her to get into the slave thing, that took, she was probably in for over a year.
Yeah, so she
And
was
so she
very
was
much
very
inducted
yeah.
into that, right?
But I being psychic and medium myself, I do see people that come and they are very vulnerable. And I see them during a reading. And I know that I have to pick my words carefully. Otherwise, I will make them dependent on me. And that is not what my intention is at all. I'm always there trying to empower them back. It's like, no, you need the confidence. And a lot of people that come to me, they're at the lowest. And if this is where this scum is the worst thing ever, because this is what he preyed on. Mm-hmm. And if you were on the cusp, they would make sure to push you over
Yeah.
so that you were able. And what was it for? All for control of money. That's all it was for.
Well, I think he probably had. He was likely addicted to sex.
Oh, well, yeah.
Right.
I think he was more addicted to control and punishing women, really, because someone who's addicted to sex does not use women this way.
True.
Does not.
So Raniere encouraged the DOS masters to use demeaning and derogatory language and racial slurs to humiliate these, what they considered slaves. Mm-hmm. Slaves were required to provide free labor for their masters and were severely sleep deprived and forced participation in readiness drills.
Yeah.
Wow, which required them to respond to their masters at any time of the day or night. And they were subject to corporal punishment, which included being forced to hold painful poses, stand barefoot in the snow, take cold showers, and whip each other with straps. So
It's bad.
I couldn't even imagine that. Like, a readiness drill. There better be a fire if I have to get up in the middle of the night and like rush outside to stand.
So you have a really bad sleep already, and then on top of that, you're always having to like be on that like fight or flight kind of thing.
You would never sleep sound.
No, not at all.
No,
not at all, not at all. And then if the other thing that he used to do as well is if someone finally started to go, well, enough's enough. Like, I can't do this more. He would have something called EMs, like where you would have to go and confess And yeah, you would EMs was what you have to confess for something. Oh, they always have to have collateral. That's what I'm saying. So after so many times, you have to send them something because they would have to use this collateral. So if you went, say you decided, the girls never really realized this because I think if they did, they would have been like, screw you. I think it was like if you ever decided to go to the police and go, hey, this person made me do this, they were like, hey, if you decide to do that, then we're going to send all of these pictures to the internet and post it. So all your naked pictures that you sent me, we're going to release that. Those letters that you wrote to your families saying horrible things about them, we're going to send it to them. Like, we're going to make your life miserable. So, because I was trying to, there was certain reasons why some of them stayed longer after even seeing some of the red flags because of their collateral. Because at the beginning, they had to submit something collateral to them, which they were just like, some women were like, no, screw that. I'm not going. I'm not doing that. I'm not writing a letter to my mom telling her she's a horrible mother because she wasn't. Some people, and some of them were so eager. The only way, it's kind of like that thing where it's like that FOMO, like fear of missing out.
Yes.
It's like, oh, we have this great club. You want to be a part of it, but you have to give me something so that I can hold as collateral. So give me a picture of your pussy. And you're like, are you kidding me? Some women were like they're like, no, this is disgusting. I'm not doing this. Other people, well, okay, it's just a picture, right? You can rationalize.
But you can tell the women that were like, and I know people are going to be watching this thinking, I would never do that. Like that's.
I thought so too, but I have had enough people that I could do that if I wanted to.
If you've just come through a bad breakup,
if you're on medication,
on
or
medications,
something.
you're
perimenopause. Perimenopause. I'll join a cult tomorrow.
I'm menopausal.
I'm menopausal. I'll be the leader.
I was just going to say, I'm running the cult. And ladies, there's not going to be any of this foolishness. It's all good stuff.
No, we're getting hot men. But it's just like the mind, as strong as it is, it's also very vulnerable. And people like this prey on people who are vulnerable.
Yep.
They have the right wording, they have the right, and all it does is like, you have one friend that, and that's why they're always like, bring a friend, you can get this, blah, blah, blah. So it's preying on people's weaknesses.
Yep.
And and that's why he got 120 years.
Yeah, they, at his trial, it says prosecutors introduced a recording of a private meeting in 2016 with Inner Circle members where Raniere stated, the monogram, as it is right now, is very directly related to my initials. And the group discussed how to obscure that fact. So there is a picture of it on here.
It's gross looking.
It is gross looking. And it looks painful.
Oh yeah. Can you imagine having that cauterized?
No.
And what the.
So for anybody that, if you want to see this is what all these women were branded with.
Yeah.
And then when you turn it this way.
That's where you see his. You see his kid. I can't remember what his middle name is, but that's what it is. It's the initials of his thing. So, really, one of the wives of his best friend, really, I can't remember the filmmaker's name. He's South African, and he did a documentary, and it was his wife, who is Australian, and she was actually in. She played in Star Wars. She played the Luke Skywalker's mom or whatever it was in Star Wars, and she was the one who actually saw it. I can't remember her name right now. She was the one who kind of noticed it. But even then, this is what Keith would do. If he would see that you were starting to drift a little, he would have a private walk with you. So for some reason, he had this thing that he'd do, which was weird. He had volleyball at night. He was, I think he mostly slept during the day and was up all night. So he told them that he did his best thinking at night. Okay. I think he was just freaking lazy. So he would go and they would have like all these all-night volleyball games. So if you wanted to go and pick his brain or whatever, because he was the most brainiac ever. You could go to these volleyball games and just everybody would just hang around and just like want to hear what he was speaking. And to be honest with you, hearing him speak, he was very charismatic. So I can understand how he knew what to say. He knew the right wording to say. He had the spiritual language down. So he practiced. He also did walks alone. So, and those were all recorded. So he would walk with you and he would ask you, what is your, what's going on?
The
Blah,
walk
blah.
and talk.
Yeah, walk and talk. And so you'd be walking, and as you're walking along, you're starting to tell them, you would tell them certain things. And in that walk, he would be a little condescending to them and kind of make it always back on like it's your fault. And with this girl, I can't remember her name right now, he said to her, I can pretty much make anybody do what I want. And he said to her, I want you to go over there and lick that puddle of mud, lick that puddle of water right there. And she started crying when she was saying this. And she actually got down on all fours and licked the puddle.
Why though?
I don't know. And she doesn't even know the answer. I think whatever was inside her, I don't know. Because she was just like, he knew best. And I'm like, when you put that person on a pedestal and this is one voice and this person knows everything, I mean, they didn't know that Dalai Lama was paid $2 million to endorse him. He's got all of these people around him that they don't know that they're being paid millions of dollars by the Brofman sisters to say that he's this and that. So they're believing all of this bull that's coming out of his mouth. And he's got all of these right wordings that he's using. So they're like, well, he must be right. And they would also, like, they would punish themselves. Like, this is the thing. He had him so coerced. Like, she decided that she was with her husband and something went wrong or whatever. And she made herself a bed and slept on the floor for a week because this is how she thought she was going to be more enlightened. Because this is all wrapped around being enlightened. This is all
being your best self.
Yeah, being
Yes.
your best self. Like, they're coming through and they're like, this is all of this bullshit is wrapped around spirituality. And it's like, there's nothing spiritual about
No,
this.
there's not. It's evil.
It's all, this is not about empowering somebody. This is about taking their power away.
Yeah, owning
And
them.
This guy did this systematically over and over again. And over the years, perfected it to the point where, and I know the reason why he did it. And thank God the law finally realized it. Because if you look, there is nothing with his name on it. Everything has Nancy Salzman's name on it, or her daughter, who also got house arrest or whatever it was, who also Nancy didn't know was in a relationship with him because he promised to have a baby with her. So basically, all of these women that he put in some type of like leadership, he was having a relationship with them, promised to have a child with them, so that they're in love with them. They don't know about each other.
He was a he-whore.
No, for sure. He did it all for power. He did it all to like coerce them. And this is what he did. He used sex to coerce them. And the ones that didn't follow the flow, he'd just get rid of and then sue them. So they wouldn't say anything. So they would be broke. And he was horrible person. And so he made sure that none of his name was really on anything. The only mistake he made was having himself being filmed or taped about the DOS stuff.
Yeah, it's
Because he would have gotten away with it. Because if you look at it on paper, they couldn't get him with anything on paper because he didn't have his name on anything. And that's how, he was smart enough to know that. Because he was like, I'm not going to be going through the courts the same way I did the first time. Because he had his name on everything. So he's like, all of these people are now are the ones, but they all outed him. They're like, he thought that he had convinced himself that he had their loyalty 100%, that they would have taken the fall for him. And it wasn't until they got in court that Nancy, when it came up, she's like, half of the time, I felt bad for her, really. She was the VP, but she really didn't know anything, and she was being coerced by him. Because he would tell her to shut up. He would humiliate her in front of the things if she wasn't. So she was like, yeah, her name was there, but she didn't really have any power. and he slept with her too. So she didn't really know about a lot of this. She didn't know any about the DOS. So she knew just about she really didn't know a whole lot. He was using her name and using her stuff. And she thought she didn't really know about all this. So when she was finding out about this woman broke down. I think she became suicidal because she was just like, I can't go to jail. I can't go to jail for this guy. So she told them whatever she knew about her part. Her daughter now, she didn't know the daughter was having sex with him. And then when she found out, she was devastated. So the daughter knew, everybody had a little piece that they were able to say. And they all were like, yeah, you're going down. Like when they finally found out about each of them, they were like, yep, they turned.
Women scored.
Yeah. They all got together. They're like, this man's going down. Yeah. And that's how he ended up with 120 years.
So yes, he was convicted in June of 2019. And then in 2020, when the whole world stopped because of COVID, it said, and its impact on the prisons delayed Ranieri's sentencing until over a year later. He remained in jail until it came up. While there, he began communicating with a supporter, Sunil. Did you hear of Sunil?
No. I kind of stopped after he got in jail.
The last name Sunil. I can't even say the last name. Again, it's.
I know he still has supporters out there that want him out.
So Sunil recorded some of their conversations, and these recordings were released through a website as a podcast called Ranieri Speaks.
Oh God.
Yeah, and it's copyrighted.
Wow.
It's copyrighted. It's held by Dialogue Productions. And Ranieri was subsequently forbidden by the prison officials from contacting that supporter again. They cut it off.
They cut it off?
Yep.
Well, yeah, because now he's trying to do his stuff from inside of the prison.
Right, and he's trying to make money from inside the prison that
Which
way.
I don't know what would benefit him. He's in there for 120 years. Maybe paroled in 100.
I don't even know why they have sentences that long. Yeah,
I don't either.
Who did I hear? There was somebody that got like 8 life sentences. You're not dying 8 times.
I'm like,
well, maybe you are. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, the next one you come back at, you're going to be dying again.
You're back in jail.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's his story. And in some ways, he was brilliant about it.
He was, if we only used it for good.
Yeah. Don't use your powers for evil.
Yeah, I think he was just motivated from the start. It was just to really make money and for control. And he hated women, and he liked young children, the young girls. Because there's other stuff that we haven't even mentioned here that he was involved in, and
there's hours of.
There's this man. I mean, he ran this for a very long time, and he was the grand poobah. Because that's when they finally figured out it was all him. The women also had to do some house arrest, and they had to pay back some restitution and stuff, including the Brofmans who funded this whole thing. They've all had to. They also were sentenced for some stuff too. But I mean, the real takeaway here is you've got to, no matter where you go, even if you go see a psychic medium or whoever it is, you have to use some discernment. And if you're coming away scared and it's kind of like, that really doesn't sit well with me, I don't care how much money you've spent, walk away, because the cost to your life is going to be a lot higher than that whatever $100
Trust your
you spent.
instincts. Trust your gut. If
Trust
it doesn't
your gut.
feel right.
Yeah. I mean, if red flags are throwing themselves at you, I mean, you don't need one planted in the middle of your head to tell you that this is a time to walk away.
You need to be strong, girls. You got this. You can do it.
Yes.
You can reach out to
it.
us.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you all the strength you need.
I get it from Lutz for Bella.
Yes. But yeah. And this is the thing. People that are like this, they prey on it. And you can tell by the language. They'll twist it a certain way.
And they love bomb.
Oh, yeah. At first you feel like oh my God, you're like walking on sunshine.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you're just like, wait a minute. And that's when you should walk away. Trust your instincts at that point. But there's, a lot of times, and I've had my own things where it's like, you know what, but I spent all this money. No, I spent all this money. And that's usually because, that's their grip on you because you spent all this money.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, if you stay because you spent all that money, it'll end up costing you a lot more than anything that money can buy.
Yep. That's all you can do is just
Yeah.
trust your instincts. If it doesn't feel right, it's
Yeah.
probably not.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, there's a reason why this man got 120 years.
Yeah.
I mean, this is pretty bad. But yeah, thanks everybody for listening.
What are we doing next week?
I think we're working on another cult.
On another, yeah. This is Cult Week.
This is Cult Week.
Twin
this one's called Twin
Flames.
Flames Universe, which is who's the people that run it again?
This is Jeff and Shalia Divine.
Oh my God, yeah, that's not even their last name. Real. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah,
that's
no.
a whole other piece of work. Who are actually still working right now, so we got to be careful with what we say. But yeah, we're gonna deep dive into that one for sure because
And then I have some ideas for the upcoming weeks for some really cool stuff we can dig into.
yeah.
Yep.
I got another one too. Teal Swan is the other one that I want to look into.
Oh,
You don't know her?
No.
Oh, she's a doozy. But anyways, we'll
I
we'll
just
look
have
into
to jot that down
Yeah.
because
So thanks everybody for listening in and
Yes.
watching. Bye.
Bye.